Unlike the larger Mitsubishi Outlander crossover, its younger brother Mitsubishi ASX, which debuted in 2010, did not receive a Russian residence permit at the plant in Kaluga. For the first 3 years, cars were delivered to us from Japan, and since 2013, already from the USA, the city of Normal in the state of Illinois. In 2014 there was a restyling, then in 2016 another change in appearance, and then Mitsubishi ASX left the Russian market. True, a year later, ASX nevertheless returned. Moreover, crossovers were again delivered and are still being delivered from Japan. But the versions available overseas with the most powerful of the gasoline engines, a volume of 2.4 liters, have not appeared with us, as well as diesel modifications, popular in Europe. Under the hood is one of 3 gasoline atmospheric 4s, a volume of 1.6 liters, 117 horsepower, paired with a manual transmission, or 1.8 liters, 140 horsepower, or 2.0 liters, 150 horsepower, with a variator. Only 2-liter versions are equipped with all-wheel drive, the rest are front-wheel drive. 1.8 and 2.0 Series 4V10 and 4V11. Atmospheric 4s, 1.8 Series 4V10 and 2.0 models 4V11 are structurally simple and similar. They have 4 valves per cylinder, 2 camshafts in the cylinder head and a variable valve timing system with MIVEC electronic control inlet and outlet. Both units, built in 2005 on a joint GEMA, Global Engine Manufacturing Alliance, platform with Hyundai and Chrysler, performed by Mitsubishi, with their pistons, liners, thermostat, ignition coils, intake system and control programs, are generally quite successful and have a resource of at least 300,000 kilometers. The chain and the timing drive, with high-quality lubrication, can last at least 250 to 300,000 kilometers. The system for changing the valve timing rarely raises questions. The valve drive system does not have hydraulic lifters, so adjustment after 100,000 kilometers will have to be done manually. In the drive of mounted units, plastic rollers can wear out and stop holding the belt after 60 to 80,000 kilometers. If the engine is unstable, first of all check the condition of the spark plugs and the absence of air leakage in the intake. The noise of the exhaust system after a run of 70 to 90,000 kilometers is associated with burnout of the sealing ring between the converter and the manifold. The throttle body needs to be cleaned every 50,000 kilometers. With a strong leak of the crankshaft oil seal after 120 to 150,000 kilometers, the oil can damage the rubber pulley damper. 1.6 Series 4A92. The base 1.6-liter engine of the 4A92 series, developed jointly with the then Daimler Chrysler Company, is architecturally similar to the 481011 series engines, with the exception of the absence of the MIVEC system on release, but less successful. The tendency to leak the crankshaft oil seal and the demands on the state of the ignition system are the same as for engines 1.8 and 2.0. In addition, due to the peculiar design of the oil intake, the motor is extremely sensitive to the oil level. In the crankcase, you must always have at least half the level between the marks. Otherwise, oil starvation and scuffing of the liners are possible. Piston rings are prone to sticking, which can begin as early as 80,000 kilometers. This increases oil consumption. After 100,000 kilometers, the timing chain may stretch. After 120 to 130,000 kilometers, valve stem seals usually lose their efficiency. The Jatco JF011 variator appeared back in 2005, and by the time it was installed on the Mitsubishi A5X, it had already been largely finalized and quite reliable. Without serious breakdowns, at least 200 to 220,000 kilometers usually work. And soon in 2011 it was upgraded again, including the belt, cones, and control program. A major overhaul may subsequently be necessary due to wear of the cones, shaft bearings, control stepper motor, valve body valves, and oil pump. Since 2014, restyled crossovers have been equipped with the next generation Jatco JF016E CVT. The unit has a more technologically advanced and lightweight design, a resource of 220 to 250,000 kilometers, but less maintainability. First of all, this is due to the design of the valve body, built on linear solenoids, without a step motor, as well as more active blocking of the torque converter, which leads to accelerated oil contamination. Its cleanliness must be monitored with particular care. If there are problems with the hydraulic part, you can try to solve the problem by flushing. But often a new valve body costing about 50,000 rubles may be required. Also, with age, the belt, bearings and oil pump may require replacement. During the second restyling in 2016, the CVT control program was modified, which added a little more durability to it. Mechanical box. The mechanical 5-speed FSM box, paired only with the 1.6 engine, is durable. The clutch lasts 120 to 130,000 kilometers. After 150 to 180,000 kilometers, some specimens may experience wear of the synchronizers. In winter, it may be difficult to shift gears due to thickened grease in the clutch splines and CV joints. In this case, it makes sense to use a more frost-resistant one. The drum handbrake for pre-styling versions older than 2012 is unpretentious, while for those upgraded in 2016, the mechanisms are often integrated into the working cylinders. The caliper bulkhead is usually not enough for a long time. You need to be ready to change it as an assembly. The rear springs sag noticeably after 7 to 10 years, especially with frequent driving with the load. Instead of the original ones for 15,000 rubles, you can look for analogs, both more enduring and many times cheaper. In the rear multi-link suspension, after 120 to 140,000 kilometers, the silent blocks of the trailing arms wear out. The rest are able to withstand 180 to 200,000 kilometers. Wheel bearings and shock absorbers are able to maintain performance up to 120 to 150,000 kilometers. But they are often let down by torn anthers. In order not to sentence the shock absorber ahead of time, their condition must be regularly monitored and, if damaged, changed without delay. Branded front brake discs tend to warp, another reason to pick up may not be cheaper, but more enduring non-original. It is desirable to service the calipers with cleaning and lubrication of the guides at each MOT, otherwise they may wedge. The rack and pinion steering mechanism itself is durable, but due to leaky seals, rail corrosion occurs, leading to wear and knocks. The electric amplifier is usually also of little concern. The main thing is that it is not let down by the failure of sensors or corrosion of the wiring. The all-wheel drive transmission, which only 2-liter versions have, rarely causes trouble. After 120 to 150,000 kilometers, the propeller shaft outboard bearing may wear out. And the main thing is to protect the center clutch from overheating.